They teach us to believe rather than to know. Them teach us to be blissful in our ignorance rather than to recognize ignorance as stupidity and work out our problems without using their logics to work out the problem. Because it is because we're using their logics to work out problems and situations why we find ourselves deeper and deeper into the abyss of craziness.
Boy, Alpha.
That a boil bickle enough. River flood and rain a fall. Rain a fall but dirty tough.
Kaboom!
But remember, you know, great minds discuss ideas, you know, average minds discuss events, and small minds discuss people.
Yes, my people. Yes, my people. You don't know? Yeah, man. Me there with Uno again. Let me drink some water, yeah. See me? Yes, with another motor. When I stop, a wake up time. Big up yourself, Mutabaruka, every time. Yeah, man, Anna. Yes, my people. So, I don't know how me give my muta. Bless up to all of my viewers them. Bless up to all of the subscriber them. Bless up to everybody out there. You see me, I say from your heart clean, you are welcome here. And if your heart not clean, try clean it up and come. Cause you are welcome. Once you are one away. I will not want to wicked over here. It was once written that the devil know how you think. It was written that God know how you think. But I tell you, sir, right now, evil know how you think, and good know how you think, because it's oneself. You are good and you are evil, but it's oneself. So you know when you are think evil, and you know when you are think good. Who else are gonna know? And you are think it in yourself. It's not a fun, it's not a illusion, it's not a fear. You know, sir, if you go in your house and you see a snake on your bed, you most likely are gonna kill a snake there. You know why you're gonna kill a snake there? Out of fear why you're gonna kill a snake there. Out of fear why you're gonna kill that snake. Because if you go in your bed and see a little bird on your bed, most likely you'd open the window and make the bird fly out. You wouldn't kill him because you don't fear the bird. You're not gonna go in the water with the crocodile because you fear the crocodile. Fear is a dreadful thing. And most likely, if you see the crocodile on the land, you maybe kill him too out of fear because you don't want him in the water when you're in there. That's how fear dreadful. Fear. Sometimes fear make you do things where you don't want to. Fear stress you out. Yeah. The fear of death is more dreadful and terrible more than death itself. Muta always said that too. Fear. Alright then. I grew up in St. Thomas. And I grew up excuse me, in the street. But you know St. Thomas is not a bad place. At least when I was growing up. Not a bad place when I was growing up. But I left out of the place young and I come in a New York City, 90s. Where a whole heap of things. And we still grew up in the street. I see things in the street, my people, where I see man have man down. And the man went down and look upon him as where him have the blade, you know. And him tell the man, say, yo, do it, you know. You better do it, you know. Because if you not do it, you know what's going to happen, you know. And people on the sideline tell the man, you know. say, don't do it, you know. You see me, I say, and guess what? The man do it. And when him do it, yes, Big Yard pick him up. Big Yard pick him up when him do it. And you know we know man and man. And when me get a chat with the man and say, my youth, why you do it? The man I say, if me never do it, which part me it a go? Because me know this a man here. I know him. And I know him I go come back. So if me never do it, where me I go? Where me I go run to? The man say me rather do it and here breathing than never do it. And I run up and down and I know when him a go catch me. And I out of fear that. Fear. Them know say fear is a powerful thing and that's why them use it. You see me? The pastor man still use fear for the go out your pocket. Yes, my people. Fear. I don't know fear. Fears are very dreadful things. Out of fear, a man can make you all tell a lie on yourself. So they know fear was effective to use it and control the people, their mind. And until to the day, them have you living in fear. Yeah. The way of religion is a fear. You gotta do this and do that to save your soul. And have you living in fear. But anyway, we not talk too long for now. And I don't know, I'll be aka Alpha Rastafari. You see me I say? Stop living in fear. Yeah man. Stop living in fear. Respect.
Last week we did mention a next thing because we can't stop talking about the same thing them, you know, because certain things not resolve. And it's usually you stop talking about it if it's not resolved. You have to keep pounding it and pounding it. That's how bad music sound to sometime, don't it? It become good. But propaganda is a thing where you have to keep repeating it. You know, them call it repetition, repetitiveness, according to how the word go. You keep repeating the same thing and you make it sink in. So last week we did mention the idea of the Anglican Church. Because we all know, even if you don't want to accept it, most of Christianity come out of Roman Catholicism, including the Anglican Church. And the Anglican Church is the Church of England, really. Now, the problem we have with, especially people in Jamaica, we could talk about people in Jamaica. You hear a man talk about him is, him a half Chinese, him a half Syrian, him a half Indian. You never hear him say he's a half African yet. I never hear nobody in Jamaica say he's half African. You understand? Because really and truly, what them a try do is show you them connection with the slave master themselves. And the slave master is always desirable to be associated with. Some man say, well, you know, say, my grandparents is from Ireland. And when you ask him, when say him grandmother is from Ireland, so where your grandfather, him say St. Thomas, I say Portland. You understand? So him not really have no relationship with Africa. You know, your man say, boy, right now, him is half Chinese. You know, say me have Chinese blood in me. You never hear a black person that say, you know, say me have black blood in me. No, him always say him have Chinese, you know, me have Indian blood in me. Like, that is desirable. Now, I don't know if people ever don't notice this, but I want to bring some things to your attention. Powerful men, and when we talk about powerful man, no, we really talk about powerful man. We not talk about sports people and counselors and this and that. We are talking about people in England and China and Germany where change life, change start war and, you know, make your economy float and make your money devalue and this and this that. You never see one of these men married to a black woman. none of these powerful men don't marry to black women. And when we say powerful, you know, we are talking about the ultimate power. We are talking about Wall Street, big time banker, you know, and we are talking about, you know, German power brokers. I mean, them is sleep with a black woman, but them now married to a black woman. Whereas the opposite is not true. The opposite is that powerful black men always search, well, maybe not search still, but end up with white women, which is really something weird. Now, when I say that as a racist statement, we have said that in England, and we are connected to what we are going to talk about. We are connected to last week when we talked about the bishop in the church as woman, and we are connected to the Anglican church in England. We are say the monarchy, the royal house of England, you now go see them married to a black man or a black woman. Sorry, a black woman. You now go see one of them married to a black woman. And as just recently, and this is serious, you know, because people talk about racism all the while, you know, but them not connect racism to the powerful people. Because if you're looking at the Japanese government, the Chinese government, the German government, the Swiss government, you don't see no black woman on the arms of the white man who is powerful. You don't see that. See? But nobody don't see that as racism, because that is how it works. It just happen that way. If you decide now, like how I attack, you know, some people jump up and say, oh, Muta come up with them black and white thing. It's not jump up and call about black and white. We're talking about a fact. A fact is the monarchy in England up to recently did not allow one of their family members to associate and to marry a Roman Catholic. A Roman Catholic. If you was a Roman Catholic, you was not allowed to marry to one of the monarchy relative. Okay. Now, last week we mentioned how it's ironical that a group of men including the Archbishop of Canterbury in England sit down and decide that a woman can preach in the church as bishops. Them can be bishops. This is really an indictment upon the Anglican church. That is why a whole heap of people have left Anglican church and Roman Catholic church, you know, because they realize really and truly it not represent the true essence of life in its totality. All right. So them decide say them not allow women to be bishops. Yet still all of them man they will sit down come from woman, you know. What is it saying about the thinking of these religious men that women is not able to project the word of God to the people to the point where them say no women allowed? And understanding that Christianity and all its dogmas was created by the Roman Catholic Church. And maybe you don't know this, but this is true. I mean, whether you want to say a Muta said and a foolishness attack, I don't care, but it's true. The Anglican Church was started by a man named Henry VIII. Henry VIII had 6 wives. Well, not 6 wives together, but one day they married the next one day they married the next one, they murder one, they married the next one, they murder the next one, they married the next one. Them not call it murder, them call it say she was unfaithful, so in behead her. So in behead a whole like couple and wife them. So one of them outlive him really, I think. But the reality is this, that he was trying to annul one of his marriages. Ask an Anglican bishop if it's lie Mutabaruka tell. And maybe the Anglican bishop don't even know neither. I am going to tell you how them start the Anglican church. Them start the Anglican church because this murderer, Henry VIII, King Henry VIII, wanted to annul a marriage to a woman, to one of his wife. Annulling it means when them annul it now, it's different from divorce. Because when you divorce, you say, boy, right now you did married too. But when you annul the marriage, it means you never did married. It's so for them to go. But the Pope of Rome was the sole authority in those days. That means everybody who is religious, that's why they call it Christendom. Remember, I used to call it Europe, they call it Christendom. Everybody was connected to the Pope, including the kings in England. But what happened now is that the Pope denied Henry VIII the divorce or the annulment. Him deny him. Guess what now? Because of this act by the Pope of Rome, Henry VIII break away from the Roman Catholic Church and start his own church. So he declare himself head of the Anglican Church. And the Anglican Church become the Church of England. This is a murderer. This is a man who is not befitting what we would call righteousness. And this is a man now who claims, why, because the Pope decides, why, me can't get rid of my wife. Here what I'm going to do. I'm going to just break her from the church. So I'm break her from the church and start him own thing named the Anglican Church. Now the Anglican Church is just like the Roman Catholic Church, is against women. It's ironical. It's ironical that the church is against women, yet still in the Roman Catholic, in one of the liturgies, them say, Hail Mary, Mother of God. That means them put Mary in a high esteem in relationship to being the mother of God. But she never have sex. And this is where the problem arises now, you know. Because when them I show you now, which is really a weird thing, these men in the Anglican Church, in the Archbishop and all of these people, justify gay marriage and justify preachers as homosexual. So you have a lot of homosexual priests and you have a lot of gay marriage that is validated between the Roman Catholic Church and the Anglican Church. We're talking about the Anglican Church now because it is the Anglican Church that was reported to say them still not going to allow women as bishops in the church. You understand? We realize that this is a direct backwardness where them accuse we have. It's a backwardness that in this 21st century where woman is part of the backbone of nations, where women has really shown themselves to be leaders even much more than men, because most of the wars that is fought and started in the world was started by insecure men. Insecure men. And when we look on religious belief, we say religion was created by insecure men most of the time, and it oppressed women. It oppressed women to the point where that woman is said to have brought sin into the world by way of a woman named Eve. And then now them try to circumcise her in the concept of Mary. Yet still, today, in this 21st century, when we in Jamaica and other part of the Caribbean is looking at homosexuality as a deviant behavior, them accept it, but yet still them is fighting against them mother. Because woman, no care what them want to say. None of them ever come from a virgin birth. All of the man them sit down and say woman can't be bishop. Then come from woman. It's out of the womb of the woman them come from. And them continue and perpetuate this thing over hundreds of years. Sit down, some group of man sit down. We're going to come back to it. We don't know. It break the concentration, you know, when we have to go back so long to say what we did say about this man thing where them build up in our consciousness, where them help to support something where we against, but when we say we against it, you know, say in England right now, you can't come out and talk your mind freely about homosexuality. No, them say it's homophobia. It not nothing to do with homophobia, you know. It just have something to do so you don't agree with the thing. You know, like a man say him don't agree with certain things. You can't actually say it. And most people kind of scared now to actually talk about it. You know, see, yet still them have a situation now where you have a group of men sit down and decide, say, women can be bishop. Yet still, in them same country there, you know, you have countries. I don't know if the people them is familiar with zoophilia. Maybe it's a new word to a whole heap of people, but it's another word, is bestiality. You have a whole heap of these countries where legalize these things. It's the same people them, you know. We are tell we say we're homophobic, you know. We don't hear, like for instance now, the Church of England. Or is it that the Church of England is not even the Church of England, but England, the hierarchy of the England rulership is not coming out against places like Germany and, you know, certain places in a Europe where men sleep with them dogs. I mean, sexually deal with them dogs. And when the argument is that it is a consensual thing because the dog don't disagree. The people are not easy, the Rasta. The people are not easy, you know. That's why we say we're in a serious situation, you know. We're in a serious situation where if we talk about Africa and blackness, you hear say, boy, where we are bring up that far? To even the point in a Jamaica, if you talk about blackness, people say, where you bring up that far? Yet still, them says out of many one. You never see a Chinese man a clean the street yet. You never see two Chinese police a walk down Orange Street yet, take our people off of the road. Yet it is out of many one. And people in Jamaica consider themselves half Chinese. And the Chinese people who are black, them never say them is half African. So it's an imbalance of one. But the biggest imbalance of all is when we were taught in our religious belief and persuasions that women bring sin into the world. And them are try to correct it now with Mary. It's a serious situation. We make the rulers decide what we must consider right and wrong. When a group of men sit down and decide our religious persuasions, and a group of people sit down and decide our political persuasions, so we can't think for ourselves. And most people don't want to think for themselves, you know. They want people to think for them. That is why they're in so much problem and we're in a serious situation that when people think for you, they make you do what they want you to do. And it's that we have to come out of. We have to come out of the situation where we don't use our brain. We don't use our brain for decipher situation. That's why last week we are talking about mathematics and we are talking about the logics of mathematics, where the whole situation of life is one big mathematical problem, but it's the solution and the formula that you use to go around it or to go through it. And this power hierarchy does not allow us that situation that is needed and needed for really think through problems and solve the problems with own self. We don't have no confidence in ourselves. And we need to build up confidence. And what them do now, them get, as we have said before, them get artists to go up and for them side now. Not now, but quite a while now. Them get the artists to go up and for them side, but the artists don't feel, say, him is part of the problem. That is the irony of it, you know. We have fight against Africans and we are African people. We have fight against woman and your mother is a woman. We have fight against all sorts of different things. And you is the architect and the core of the thing that you have fight against. So artists have fight against the system, but them now become a part of the corrupt system. Where even though you hear some of them sing about them mother, them still disrespect woman in the next level and forget, say, every girlfriend might be a mother. So when you big up your mother and cuss the woman out there and I tell the woman what to do and when not to do and all these things, It's a serious situation we find ourselves in, a brethren and sisters. A serious situation. And the politician nah solve it. The preacher nah solve it. So we have to go look towards ourselves. We have to find something inside our way and take it out and say, yes, this is it. Because the more we pray, and the more things get worse. The more we vote, and the more things get worse. So who is taking the blame? Who is them and who is we? We have become them and them have become we. They teach us to believe rather than to know. Them teach us to be blissful in our ignorance rather than to recognize ignorance as stupidity and work out our problems without using their logics to work out the problem. Because it is because we're using their logics to work out problems and situations why we find ourselves deeper and deeper into the abyss of craziness. So the Anglican Church is part of the problem because them is declaring that woman is not supposed to be bishop, that woman cannot carry the word of God to no level of consciousness. And me, I say, my mother is part of that divinity. My sister, my woman, my girlfriend, them is part of that divinity that is necessary for I as a man exist in at this time here. I mean, I know about a next man, but me can't exist without the female. Me can't exist. I mean, I talk about no sex as of now. Me talk about just upliftment and advancement of the mind, the human mind. The church now offer with that. The school them a carry ear wire because most of the school them is affiliated with some Anglican church or some Roman Catholic church, and them bring most of the school them here. So we not get from it even though we are trying to get educated. And the more sometimes we get educated, the more we get stupid. Because sometimes it's not education. Sometimes it's intelligence.